How's everyone doing? Hello, hello. Okay. Just wanna, okay, sound works. Give it a moment before we get started. Okay, everything seems to be working well. Hey Pips Apprentice, how are you doing? Okay, super. Hey Pips Apprentice, how are you doing? Yes, something's happening here, but I'll figure that one out later. Okay, if you're on the session and you're, if you're on the session, sound check, let me know if it's all good. Sound and visual check. Okay. Bit laggy. Computer's being a bit laggy right now, but I think we should be fine. Alrighty, we'll give it a couple of minutes before we get started. Yeah, if you can hear me all right, see me okay, put it into the chat, let me know. If you are new to the session, do drop a message, say hi, let me know where you're joining us from. Love to find out. And for all the regulars, a big welcome back. Regulars as well. I see a number of people on the session, but not dropping a message. So if you can help me out, do drop a message. And also, as we go through the session, do click that like and subscribe button if you haven't already, please. That would help massively. Hey KLE, how you doing? Hey Jimmy. Hey Jumarinas, good morning. Good to see all of you again. Well, good to see all your names again. We should, maybe, for everyone in the Discord channel, perhaps we should arrange for a Zoom session where we can all jump on a Zoom session, turn on our videos, get to know each other better as a trading community. Right, so the link for the Discord channel is there as well. If you haven't already, do make sure you join. I am still sniffing quite a bit, so we'll see how that goes. Not a lot, well, not at all, not all trades for me from yesterday. How did you guys go? Dollar index just went straight up. So let me know how you guys go on that. Hey Christina, how you doing? Kind of long time no see. Good to have you back. Okay. Kelly says that's a good idea. I love that. Yeah, we can do that. We'll make it in a different timing as well, just so that maybe perhaps a better time zone for everyone, so that we can all jump onto the session. Hey Erwin. Hey D-Train, good afternoon, how you doing? Okay, so let's get started. Enough sitting around. Good to have you all with me on this daily market analysis, where I've been doing this since last year, jumping on, I wouldn't say daily, but as much as I can, almost daily, sharing with you my thoughts, views, and ideas of the markets, looking at some possible trade setups. It doesn't always work out well. There will be times where we get into losses. There will be times where we don't get into any trades. And there will be times where all our setups work out perfectly. All right, so this is really not a signal service. This is just sharing with you my ideas, thoughts, possible trade setups. And if I do get into anything or have any updates, the Discord channel link is there. Do make sure you join onto Discord. We are approaching 1,000 members on Discord, and we started this in April last year. So beyond my wildest dream, we're getting to 1,000 within a year. I'm surprised, but I'm glad for that. And I'm working on something else for you guys as well. Might take a bit longer to get that launched, but I'll let you all know about that shortly. Okay. Hey Erwin, some nice trades on euro and yen. Fantastic. We can look at that as well if you want to share that. Christina, life been a bit busy. Yeah, life does get busy. So I'm especially thankful that you guys are spending the time here regularly, every day 1 hour together with me. So I really appreciate that. Good morning, Diana. How are you doing? Hey, Goju, good morning. And you realize that my voice might go in and out. It's just, I don't know what's happening. It's the weather. All right, hopefully no thunderstorm today. But let's keep going. A quick disclaimer: any information contained on this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material only. The contents of this webinar are not intended to be a recommendation to trade a financial product, and your objectives, financial situation, and needs has not been considered, and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. With that, let's keep going. Okay, so since the last time we spoke, Diana doing great, no trades at all, busy with guests. Hey, busy with guests, that's a good one. I'm coming to your neck of the woods, Diana, towards the end of next month. I'll be there end Feb, early March, and I'll be there many times after that as well. So maybe we'll catch up again. All right. Yesterday, as we spoke about the yen, the Bank of Japan with their decision to hold it at minus 0.1%, but during the press conference, they were identifying the likelihood or the possibility of ending that negative rates regime, which we saw the yen push down a bit, or the dollar yen push down a bit, but the dollar strength totally wrecked the whole pattern. And then not much else happened. I'll show you what I'm talking about here first, is the dollar being very annoying. We were thinking that it's going to come up there, test, and turn back down. It did not do that, right? It went up, it broke 50, it broke 100, it broke above the resistance of 103.48 or 103.50, went as high as 103.85 before now pushing back down again. Okay, what I have been trying to figure out is the reason for this big push. This was at, well, right after we finished our session, we only saw the big jump at 6 and then again at 10 to the upside. Trying to figure out what was that big, what was the reason for this big push up. I did not find any major reasons. There was no major news that got released. Checking back to the other news events, nothing came up as well. Nothing came up as well. Apart from the statement from, where is it? Let me see. That one, no, there's one more. I just saw, oh, that one, right? Fed's bargain, there we go. That statement where the March rate cut isn't out of the picture, you make the call when you get to the meeting, right? So again, highlighting, hey, we haven't even got to the January decision, but they're talking about March rate cut not out of the picture. So if you check out CME, Fed Watch 2, when it loads, right? The March decision, it's still at that 50-50 level. It's increased slightly to cut from 46.2 on the 19th, now at 48.1. Okay, so it's increased slightly for a rate cut decision, possibly because of that statement, but I don't think that this is the main reason. I don't think that this is the main reason why we saw the dollar push up so strongly. Okay, what I actually would attribute that the push up on the dollar is a bit of a move towards reserve, because of statements like this, right? Third phase of Gaza war to take around 6 months, right? Again, reigniting that conflict. Terrible news. Everyone, we would love to see the end of this conflict, but it's, we're talking about third phase of Gaza war, and also so a conflict leading to a move towards reserve, and also this one that we saw yesterday, that one. Right? Not so much about the supply chains and inflation, but the continual attacks or that conflict in the Red Sea leading on to more uncertainty in the global stability could be one of the reasons leading to that push up, right? In the absence of economic data release, seeing that push up, I have to trigger back to, I was looking for reasons, and I'll trigger back to that main reason being global uncertainty or conflicts leading to global uncertainty, right? And you can see that move higher was pretty much short-lived, because by 1 a.m. GMT plus 8, we saw that push right back down now at 103.38. Checking the news here. Yeah, nothing much there. Okay. So that was trying to figure out why the dollar pushed to the upside so strongly. Hey Angel Case, good morning, how you doing? Awesome, we'd love to catch up. Erwin, still quite far above monthly price. Yes, I'm thinking that possibly that might come back down again. D-Train says, that we appreciate you very much for your generosity of sharing this almost daily. I appreciate that, D-Train. You're making me blush, but I really appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much. Okay, you got me blushing now. Okay, so this morning at 5:45 a.m. we did have the Kiwi with their CPI data quarter on quarter. Came out as expected, was 1.8, expected 0.5, got released at 0.5. What happened on the Kiwi dollar at 5 a.m. this morning? There we go, right? Right there, right? So we saw that push up. So imagine this bouncing off to the upside. If the dollar did not push that much lower, we could have seen that trade trigger as that pushed up, but so that led to a kind of what we expected impact by a retrace lower than we expected before that. Leading on to this at 4:15, 4:35, 5:30 p.m. GMT plus 8, we have the PMI data to be released for the Eurozone and also for the UK. I've said this all the time now, I used to pay a lot of attention to the PMI. It used to be fantastic trading opportunities for me on the PMI, but not so much now. PMI is a purchasing managers index. It is a bit of a leading indicator on economic data, because it actually tells you what purchasing managers, it's a survey of purchasing managers in the Eurozone or in the UK, in the different industries. They're looking forward, they're telling you what their orders are, they're telling you what their sales and inventories are. So it's a bit of a leading indicator. But at this point, we're seeing it stay relatively unchanged, right? Was 42, revised slightly to 42.1, going to stay at 42.5. so long as it's below 50. So long as these numbers get released below 50 and it's significantly below 50, that still shows a contraction in that respective industry, right? So if it's below 50 here, it's a contraction in the manufacturing, in the French manufacturing. Below 50 on the services for French, contraction. It's all signaling that contraction. German, possibly, look, it's gone from 49.6 back down to 48.4. They're expecting a bit of a jump. It got revised upwards. Looks like it's going to stay below 50. But as much as on services PMI for the UK going to stay above 50, slightly above, but as much as this data is going to be released, I don't see this changing the trend in the immediately. I don't see it changing trend at all. I think for now it will still come back down to what's going to happen on this guy, the DXY. Okay. So I would pretty much, I wouldn't say ignore it, right? I wouldn't say I would ignore the PMI. I would still pay a little bit of attention to it. I want to see what happens there, because it might suddenly come out at 50. It might come out at some big number and could cause a shock. But overall, I think it's going to remain within the current or the existing trend. Most importantly is tonight at 10:45 p.m. GMT +8, we have the Canadians with their overnight rate, which is their interest rate decision, going to hold at 5%. The Bank of Canada has held interest rate at 5% since September. All right, since September, they've held it at 5, October 5, December 5, now in January, forecasted to hold it at 5. I don't think we're going to see a big surprise here from the Bank of Canada. Similarly, with the rate statement and the monetary policy report, most likely going to stand are going to stay steady on course with what they have been doing. Okay, so it all boils down to what's going to happen on the dollar index. And Mehdi said the only reason the dollar strengthened was because my stop loss hit. No. Unless you massive trade. It is a $3 to $5 trillion a day market, so I don't think it's because of your stop loss. But yeah. Okay, so now looking at the charts. So because of what happened here, because of this, and this comes down to discipline, right? Just digressing a little bit, this comes down to discipline. Is, I was initially looking at, I was looking at it bouncing back down again, and as much as that did not happen, just a quick scroll through of what we were talking about yesterday. The Kiwi dollar did not trigger. The Aussie dollar came down, pushed below before pushing back up, but you see that the dollar was already pushing up, right? So I would not have got into that, or if you got in, you would have closed out. It moved against what I expected. US yen, we were looking for that to test and push down, again did not trigger. Pound dollar, we're looking for that to test and push back up, again did not trigger. Euro dollar came very close to triggering before I pushed right back down, so again did not trigger. Swizzy, no chance. Again with the US CAD, came very close before coming back down again, so again no chance there. So what happened yesterday was really just sitting there going, I'm expecting the dollar index to push lower. It pushed up, no trades right across the board. It wasn't even keen to try and force out a trade because it's just a big move. You just didn't know when it was going to reverse back, okay? Because you would be, or you should have been looking at levels like this going, right, it's pushing up, it might hit this and turn down. Did not, it broke through. It's pushing up, it might hit this and turn down. It came back down a bit before breaking up again. Then you say it comes to this point, and then again this point here, it might turn down, did not, finally it got out there. It was out of the Bollinger, came right back in again. So on hindsight, it would have been very nice to say, yeah, I bought it up or I sold it down. But in reality, being, you know, straightforward, is that you would sit there. A lot of times you would sit there, you would see the price move up, and you just wouldn't get into a trade because you're looking, you know, firstly it's gone against your bias, and then you're looking at levels where it could reverse and it didn't. Okay, so just sharing with you my what happened for me yesterday. I just sat there looking at it, and nothing exciting happened there. Hey, Alam, how you doing? Good afternoon. So now with that said, I'm going to check tomorrow, what's coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow, 9:15 p.m. GMT plus 8, we have the monetary policy statement, the rates from the Eurozone. I'll tell you more about that tomorrow during the session, and also the press conference, and then core PCE on Friday for the US, which is possibly going to be quite interesting. All right, so now with that, we are pretty much clear to see what we can do here on the dollar. Take that away. That trend line is broken. Take that one away. We got 50 here. 38 is broken, so we take that away. We don't need this. We've got this point here, back up. You can see that right now it's breaking below 50, right? This move up from yesterday, it's retraced back down to the 50% level. I'm going to be extra cautious on the dollar, okay? Why am I being extra cautious on the dollar? It's just because of how flaky it's been, right? I will zoom out a bit and just show you. Right, so January we started at that point here at 102. No, actually, whoa, where are we? January we started at about 101.50. We saw that push up, and then it sat there, tried to break lower, bounced back up again. Now trying to break below this 50 level, right? Why I'm being extra careful is just because of how it spiked up. What I would say is that it needs to break below this whole area first, right? It needs to break below this whole area before I would think and consider that the dollar index could break down. Oops. Oh, wait, what am I doing? Before I would think and consider that the dollar index could break down towards that 50% level, right? I don't think that, well, it could come to this area, but I would say 50% would be reasonable. Just checking a couple of things. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now, if it breaks, it's in this area now. So if it breaks down from this, it could go down to 102.90. Why I'm hesitating, what I'm thinking about is that I'm thinking whether could it bounce off back from this point. Okay, so I'm just checking this resistance level, which we have it here. Okay, I'm going to go to H4 just to check some levels first. That's my 50%. Okay, what I'm thinking is that this resistance could do with being up here. Right, that resistance could do with being up there. And then we could see that push right back down. Now I just want to try this setup at 23. It's right there. So we can look at that. So you can see for this move since, well, pretty much the end of December to now, it's found 23.6 and bounced right off. Now looking like it's pushing back down again. So back to the H1 time frame. I was considering, so why I was thinking of all that is I'm thinking whether it would do that. Right, whether it'll bounce off this area to push back up. I think that we could see it trade lower. Checking the RSI. Should see it push a bit lower. Okay, so we want to see the dollar index break below 103.30 before we could see it go down to 102.90. Okay, so it needs to break below area of 103.30, then could trade down to 102.90. There we go. All right, so it needs to break out this area before it could go down to this point. Oddly, it's just, I just had to check my connection. I just thought, why is it sitting so steady there at this point? It's still within the range. So that's actually a very crucial level right now. I would say that's a very crucial level because it's right at the Bollinger, it's at 61.8. It needs to break down from that point before we can see more downside. Okay. I'll keep that view in mind. Then we'll start looking at the charts. Hey, if you have any questions at any point in time, please feel free, put it into the chat and let me know. Again, if you are watching TradingView, click that little rocket ship button. YouTube, click the thumbs up button. LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitch, wherever you are watching, just help me click a like and subscribe. Kiwi dollar. Here is what's interesting is that that did not trigger. We take all of that away for now. We do have a bit of a, well, a very, I don't like this that much, but we see a double bottom here at 6070, bouncing back up, but it's still within that range. I'm just very curious of what could happen here on the dollar. Because I don't see a big reason for that. It could bounce off. Kiwi, break this point. We have this level here. Right, okay, Kiwi. Two things to watch out for. If it breaks up, again, same thing, 6140.45, and you got a tight, even 15 pips stop loss there. That's what we've been talking about before, 6140.20 to 45 or 15 to 45. Okay, if the dollar does bounce, don't rush into the Kiwi just because there's this whole area here that is bounced off. So you want it to clear this point at 6066 before you look to sell down. It needs to close below that point. I would say if you're looking to sell down 6055, stop loss 20, take profit. Again, you have that 50 pips to the downside. Okay, so in this area, I wouldn't do anything. Between these two, now actually looking at this, you see that whole push, right? It sits in that consolidation here before a break down again. Maybe what I would see, if I'm going to say that the Kiwi is going to break down, if I'm going to think that the Kiwi is going to break lower, then we're likely to see this bounce off. Okay, so I'm going to go through this just based on the Kiwi first. Then we'll come and revisit on the dollar index. Following the trend on the Kiwi, I possibly will like this a bit more. So 6055.20 to 50. Let's do that individually. 0.6055. Stop loss 20, take profit 50. So this also can be a way that you develop your bias, right? Yes, we've always done it looking at the dollar index first, and then after that, look into other pairs to drive the overall view. But you know, if I'm going to follow trend, I'm going to say, okay, I'm only going to be looking for this to break down. Then onto the Aussie with that double top pushing lower, holding 50. I think it held 61.8 there, pushing back down. It looks like we're possibly anticipating more dollar strength to come back into play. Possibly looking at that bouncing. We'll cover both scenarios. That's a big downward trend. Break lower. I would say this case, we're looking at it to go below that, but you only got 30 pips to play. Well, not play, to trade to. Not really worth that risk, okay? So what I would actually be looking out for on the Aussie will be, yes, you could trade it down from here, but what I would prefer, what I might prefer is to see a reaction at 6525. I want to see a reaction at a support level of 6525. Look at the dollar pushing down a little bit. Hey, what am I doing? What happened? Okay. Look for reaction at support of 0.6525. There we go. That's pushing down now. Aussie dollar not doing too much. Kiwi dollar is sitting right there. Right, Kiwi, yeah, I think that, you know, when we're talking about this 6140, 20 to 45 is there. 15 to 45. Quite a number of things to get through. We'll keep that as an option, but let's see, okay? Aussie dollar is sitting there. I possibly want to see that come down to this point and a reaction at that support. Nothing yet on the Aussie. On the yen, right? Zoom in a little bit. Still, so it broke out of that range. Out of the Bollinger, came right back in. We were thinking that it's going to come back in to the Bollinger and then turn back down again. That did not happen. Take that away. And it's still remaining within that range, right? It's within that range. Now, if the dollar does push down, like it's showing possibly, then we're going to see this break to the downside. What you could be looking for, 147.55. I think the same as yesterday. Stop loss 30 pips. Take profit down 100 to the downside. Okay, I would go even a bit lower now. I just want a bit more space there. 147.50. 35 to 100. Okay, that's pushing down. 147.50. Yeah. 35 to 100. Okay. Hey Jamil, how are you doing? Alrighty. Sell 147.50. Stop loss 35. Take profit 100. That's fine. Checking back on this again. we can keep that as an option. So 6140 15 to 45, we can keep that. Look for both this option, or buy 0.6140, stop loss 15, take profit 45. Aussie dollar, I would not do that. Also, it's just sitting there, so I might want to see a reaction at 6525, which we have there. US yen looking to sell down on the dollar weakness scenario, pushing lower. I'm happy with that. Pound dollar broke out of this whole thing, came right back down. We can take this line away, right? This setup away for now, then that for sure. Okay, it came down, it bounced off 61.8 and pushed up. This level is no longer valid. Take that away. Okay, so now looking at this to the upside, checking this move lower. We're right at, look at that, we're right at 61.8 again. Right, we're right at that point again. So if the dollar does push down, and I hope it does, it would look very nice. If it does push downwards this way, then we're going to see this push up. I think Jamil is on, so hopefully you agree with me that I'll be looking to buy it up. 1.2720, stop loss 20, take profit. You could do 25, but that's tight. I could even go up to 60. I've got my trend line that way, so I might do that. Yesterday, take 2 trades, closed with 70 pips, and the second one still holding. I'm guessing you bought it up. So that'd be good. Looking for that to break up. I'm happy with that. Maybe a bit lower that point. Okay, we can do that. We'll do that. And then we could be looking at possible, so that's this point here, upon possible hesitation at this trend line, but it's very near. Okay, so we look for that on the pound dollar, 1.2720, 20 to 60 to the upside. Oh, I made a mess of this pound dollar numbers here yesterday. Okay, 1.2720. Pips apprentice is in a buy 1.2680. Fair 1.2680. Yes, very nice. Right at that. Sorry about that. Right at that point there, that's a great move. Bounced off, buy it up. Yes, works out nicely. If it breaks above this point, Pips apprentice, I would say stop loss to break even or secure some profits, and then we could see it right to the upside, at least to this trend line, maybe a little bit higher. Very nice bounce, nice bounce setup. I love it. 1.2720, 20 to 60. 1.2720. Stop loss 20, take profit 60 to the upside. Okay, good. And there we go. Yen needs to break. Then onto the euro. Almost played out. Did not. Saved us on the stop loss there. Move down. I don't need this points. Okay, so I don't need that. Take that one away. I'll maintain this. That's my 38, my 50, 61 is still valid. That's a resistance area. Okay, so what we are possibly thinking here is that if it does break down, Jamil is holding on to the trade. Yes, I think that's a good idea on the pound. If that does break down, then this is going to push up, all right? With any luck, look at that, that's coming to the 61% level. It's broken 50. So this is how you look. That's an interesting area which is in right now. If it breaks out of this interesting area, it'll come towards this support turned resistance area. And then we have 38.2 right there. Okay. I want to look for a setup to buy it up. But what I'm thinking is that we're looking at the pound dollar possibly pushing up. Could be considering what if the dollar bounces back up and we see a test and reject. Okay. Then in that case, I'll be looking at 1.0880, stop loss 20 pips, take profit 60, back down again. All right, so I'm covering my bases here because this week has been very quiet for me. I think I've gone into one trade, haven't gone to any other big trades. So I want to cover my bases and see what could happen. But that's testing, so it could break lower. If it does break lower, then my focus will be on the pound dollar to the upside. If it bounces, then my focus will be on the euro dollar to retrace back down again. So 1.0880, 20 to 60. Okay. And if it's a buy back up, then I'll update you guys on the Discord channel as well. 1.08, 1.0880, 20 to 60. 1.0880, stop loss 20, take profit 60 to the downside. So pound, buy it up 60 pips, possible. Euro, sell it down 60 pips, possible. It all depends on what's going to happen on this guy here. The dollar index is looking like it's going to break strongly to the downside, but we're still 20 minutes away from the candle close. We'll wait and see. Okay. The Sweezy might finally be playing out. Take that one away. Right, it pushed up, breaking back down. I don't like at this point now because it's gone up that much and pushing down. It's only a 30 pip profit in this trade. I actually wouldn't be too keen. Yes, you can sell it down. If you're in the 15-minute time frame, for example, it would be a reasonable trade that you could look to sell it down. But we're looking at it on the H1 time frame, so I would say that look for a reaction at 8640. Right, let it break down. There are a lot of other trade ideas that we could get into a lot earlier with a lot more potential, pip potential as well. So I would say look at a reaction at 8640 on, very similar to the Aussie. Let's say look for reaction at support of 0.8640. Take that one away. Okay. There we go. There we go. So look at it dropping. I want to see what happens. If I'm not on the session, maybe, and if this was not the US Swiss franc, not a pad I usually trade, maybe I'll be looking to scalp it down, but not right now on the H1 time frame, right? M15 looks good. M5 looks good as well, so that could be something. H1, if you wanted to close out the candle, sell it down, tight stop, 10 pips, 30 pips to the downside, could be done as well. Okay, but I would prefer to see what's going to happen at that support level. Then I think Diana is here, so let's jump onto, because Diana is here, let's jump onto the Swiss yen. Right, it's been a mess. Okay, I'll take that one away. That's done. That one away. That one away. That way. We haven't looked at it for a couple of days. That's done as well. At least we know our support level is holding, valid, strong and valid. Take that one away as well. Okay. And then don't need that because it's broken that point. That's holding. It's going to stay within this range. US Swiss franc pushing down because of the dollar weakness. It's going to lead to the Swiss strength pushing back up. It is right in the middle of that. Oh, where is it? Yeah, it is right in the middle of that support and resistance level. So I wouldn't do anything at this point. I want to see it break above before I would buy it up. And it's going to be a mess. I feel that it's going to be a mess in this area unless we see that break to the downside, or, and you look, the US yen is threatening. It's not ready yet. It's threatening to push lower. So it could be, could be a bit of a mess here. The US yen, and look, 61.8 is right there. Below this point, we have our next support down there. I think what could happen here is a push, a test, and a reject. So if I were forced to think of a setup, I would look for rejection of that resistance. So 170.65, stop loss 30, take profit 80 to the downside. It's in a mess right now. It's right in the middle. I agree with Diana. You don't even look at it for now, waiting for it to either break the level. I hate trading this kind of wiki. Why I say wiki is because there's a lot of tails and shadows range. So if it's just in there, best is to wait for it to break out. But if you really had to, you could try that range. Okay. Look at that. Okay, you'll see that breaking. Then the most important one for today, because of the CAD, because of the Bank of Canada's interest rate decision, most likely going to hold at 5%. You can see that last time they held it on the 6th of December. Scrolling back. Where is it? Nope, all the way back. Okay, there we go. So right about that time. Okay, they held interest rates at 5%, and on release of the news, right on that candle there, right on this candle here, not a big reaction. Not a big reaction on the USCAD. 25th of October, that's going to be a stretch to try and find. Let's do that quickly. 25th of October is right there. Possibly that one. There we go. Okay, so again on that news release, did push up a little bit, but it continued on with the trend. Okay, so not expecting, especially with the Bank of Canada likely to hold on its current decision, not expecting a not expecting a big move on because of the news, right? Not expecting a big move because of the news. dollar weakening back down is likely to drag the USCAD back down. 61.8 right there, that previous swing low. Support level is there. We could actually take that as a support. Okay, there we go. So that's my immediate support, which coincides with 61.8 and the swing low from the 22nd of Jan, which is, well, 2 days ago. Now that it's getting past that point, could be looking to sell it down. That would be, no worries, Diana, I really appreciate that. You are the one who got me started on that, so yeah, always happy to check out new things. There we go. 50, we can cut that one. 61.8 is held there. Right, there we go. Break, break, break. Bouncing a little bit. We are 9 minutes to the candle close. If it does break down, you can look to sell down. And okay, so remember what we looked at. We looked at December, we looked at October, December and October decision from the Bank of Canada. So with that, not a big move expected. So I think that we could be looking for this to the downside. 1.3450, 15 to 30. We could look to sell it down. Sell 1.3450, stop loss 15, take profit 30. There we go. I see your question there, KLE, about the pound Aussie. We can do that. Let me get through gold first. Jamil says no more trade, holding on to your sell. Which one? What are you selling, Jamil? Let me know. I'll keep that. Then onto gold. I'll maintain that view. So it's all in that range, right? Dollar not doing too well with that spike and the retrace. It spiked up, it came right back down. And you see here, this is something, something I find interesting. Yesterday at 11, it spiked up, and then after that, it came right back down, right? And at, I'll zoom in a bit, you'll see that last night at 9, okay, no, wait, here. Yesterday, right, as at 3 o'clock, it spiked down and then it sat right across, while on the dollar index, it spiked up, and then through the night, the dollar pushed up, right? Through the night, the dollar pushed up. So 10 o'clock, the dollar had that big spike to the upside. Yet on the gold, we only saw it come down a little bit, right? What is possibly based on the inverse relationship, what should have happened is you probably would wanted to have seen gold push down, because dollar spiking up, you're going to see gold push down, but yet it's sitting right across. So you could think that yes, they're buying into the dollar, and they're also buying into gold because of it being a reserve commodity, right? So it protected that downside, holding that in consolidation. So that's why I start thinking of the potential conflict leading to that move towards reserve. Okay, so now at this point, I would say that we have that as a bit of an interesting level. If it breaks up from this point, a quick one could be 2030 to 2040. All right, so gold, I would say if it look for a break above 2030 to trade up to 2040. All right. Good. Look at that bounce back up. So we're still not 100% decided on the dollar's weakness or strength yet. So we're covering our bases on the setups. Okay. And then Kaylee is asking about pound Aussie, which I have there. Pound Aussie, zoom. Well, the last time I looked at that was back on the 9th of Jan. What's a dangerance? What's dangerance? Divergence, maybe. Be very careful. Yes, be very careful on gold. Pound Aussie pushing down. We have that move. Checking that levels. 50% right there. I think we could see a push back down. That's a bit of a support. No, wait, that's a bit of a support there. For this to push down, we need to see either the Aussie strength or the pound weakness. We're seeing pound sitting right, might turn back down. Aussie gaining some strength. We might see that push. Kiwi is forming up. That's sitting there, that's holding, that's pushing. Okay, so back to the pound Aussie. If you were to sell down from here, our close 1.9229, no, 1.9290. Take profit 75. I would say even 923. If it breaks below 1.93, right? Nice round number there. So if it breaks below 1.93, your stop loss maybe about 30 to 40 pips. Take profit about 85 to the downside. So that's what I'll be looking out for on the pound Aussie. So I want to sit around there. Right, if it sits around that, it is a little bit of a risk because there is another level here, but I don't think you should wait for that, right? If you waited for that, then you do that trade. You could also do a 25 to 50, or if you're a little bit aggressive, then you could be looking at below, and once that candle closes in 3 minutes, below that point, you can look to sell it down as well. Okay. Prince Philip says DXY is at a price support in line with the previous high risk of upside to dollar and down to US pairs. It's sitting right there. So we want to see what happens at this point. It's really anyone's guess. It could break down, it could push up. We're going to see a reaction at this point. Okay. All right, so with that said, again, the link is there. See you on Discord, and if not on Discord, then I'll see you all tomorrow, same time, same place. Please trade well, trade safe, take care now. Remember, help me out, click that like and subscribe button. Okay, thank you all so much. Take care now. Bye-bye.